Medieval world, centers of power. The Middle Age was an area of the growth of civilization worldwide. The economic transformation brought by the medieval life and its characteristics were the causes of the revolutionary changes in the 16th century. J.D. Bernal. What are the characteristic features of the medieval world? We will discuss and let's learn. The period between the 5th and 15th centuries CE is known as the medieval period, but the term medieval period does not refer to the same period all over the world. Even though the political structure of the medieval world was similar, there were differences in the form of authority, and they were different in Europe, Asia, Africa and America during the medieval period. Eastern Roman Empire. Constantinople. Constantinople is located at the most strategic place in the Gulf of Bosphorus, between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. This city was named after the Roman Emperor Constantine. It remained as the capital city even during the reign of the Ottoman Turks. It was a great center of art and architecture. At present, Constantinople is known by the name Istanbul. The Roman Empire was the largest ancient empire. For administrative convenience, the Roman Emperor Diocletian divided the empire into two in the 4th century CE. Thus, there emerged two Roman empires, the Western Roman Empire with the capital at Rome and the Eastern Roman Empire with its capital at Constantinople, earlier known as Byzantium. Hence, the Eastern Roman Empire was otherwise called the Byzantine Empire. History will judicially forget the words of Justinian and remember him for his laws. Will Durand. Story of civilization. The observation of Will Durand about Justinian, the famous Eastern Roman Emperor, is here. The greatest contribution of Justinian is the codification of all the existing Roman laws into a code of law, Corpus Juris Civilis. Justinian's code is based on the principles of reasoning, justice and generosity. Many nations adopted it for framing their laws. Justinian's codes also served as the base for the code of law of the French ruler Napoleon. Periodization in history. It was the Roman Empire which was taken as the base for the division of world history into different periods. The ancient period commences from the origin of human beings and ends with the downfall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE. The period up to the downfall of the Eastern Roman Empire in 14,053 CE is considered as the medieval period. The modern period is from 1453 CE onwards. Corpus Juris Civilis. The code, the book containing the laws prevailed in the Roman Empire. The Digest, the book which records the opinions of the jurists regarding the laws. Institutes, the small book intended for the study of law. The Eastern Roman Empire began to decline after Justinian. It collapsed with the capture of Constantinople by the Turks in the 15th century. The Holy Roman Empire. The Western Roman Empire with its capital at Rome came to an end due to the continuous invasions of the Germanic tribes. The territories of the Roman Empire were captured by different nomadic tribes. The most prominent among them was the Franks. The empire established by the Franks was the Frankish Empire. The famous emperor of the Frankish Empire was Charlemagne of the Carolingian dynasty. The empire of Charlemagne was larger than the Eastern Roman Empire. The Charlemagne saved Pope Leo III, the spiritual head of the Catholic Church, from the tribal attack of the Lombards. As a token of gratitude, the Pope crowned him as the Holy Roman Emperor. Hence, his empire came to be known as the Holy Roman Empire. Charlemagne was a great conqueror as well as an efficient administrator. He brought almost all of the Western European regions under his sway. He expanded his empire through political alliances and matrimonial relations. He introduced centralized administration in his empire. Local administration was entrusted to officers known as counts to keep an effective check upon the activities of the counts. He created a secret department named Missi Dominici. Relief funds were created for helping the poor. A network of educational institutions was established under the leadership of Charlemagne. The resultant intellectual awakening was known as the Carolingian Renaissance. With the death of Charlemagne, the Frankish Empire was divided and gradually collapsed. The Arab Empire. The region which included Iraq, Iran and Saudi Arabia was known as Arabia. The Arabs made outstanding contributions to the medieval world. The contribution of the Arabs in the realm of culture was already discussed in the previous videos. In the political sphere was also they contributed a lot. Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, was the head of the Arab state. After the death of Prophet Muhammad in 632 CE, Arabia was ruled by the caliphs. During their reign, the Arab Empire was very vast, which included regions from Asia Minor to the Arabian Sea. Their capital was Medina. After the early caliphs, Arabia was ruled by the Umayyad dynasty. They introduced centralized administration in Arabia. The gold coin dinar and the silver coin dirham were issued by the Umayyads. Their capital was Damascus. After the Umayyads, the Abbasids became the rulers. During the period of the Abbasids, the capital was shifted to Baghdad. Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad was born at Makkah in 571 CE. He belonged to the Quraysh tribe. Mecca was known as the holy city of Islam because of the opposition of the influential class of Mecca. Prophet Muhammad fled to Medina in 622 CE. This was known as Hijrah. This event was the starting point of the Hijrah era. Early caliphs: Abu Bakr 632 CE to 634 CE, Umar 634 CE to 644 CE, Uthman 644 CE to 656 CE. Ali 656 CE to 661 CE. Baghdad. Baghdad is located on the banks of the river Tigris. This city is the background of the book 1001 Nights. In the 1001 Nights, the city is depicted as the biggest and richest city in the world. It was here that the world famous University of Baghdad and the palace of the Abbasids are situated. Baghdad was conquered by the Mongolian ruler Timur and Ottoman ruler Suleiman. During the Mongolian invasion, it is said that there were 36 public libraries in Baghdad city. It was also a cultural center of the period. The most famous ruler of the Abbasid dynasty was Harun al-Rashid. As a benevolent ruler, he implemented many welfare measures. It was during his period that hospitals were established in Arabia for the first time. Judicial administration was based on the principles of Islam and the rule of law was strictly observed. The people were free to travel anywhere in the empire without fear. Harun al-Rashid established contacts with the Holy Roman Empire and sent ambassadors to the palace of Charlemagne. The Ottoman Empire. What is the reason for the downfall of the Eastern Roman Empire? With the capture of Constantinople in 1453 CE by the Turkish leader Muhammad II, the Ottoman Empire was strengthened. By then, many territories of Eastern Roman Empire had become a part of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire reached its zenith during the time of Suleiman. He was called Al-Khoini, the lawgiver. He codified the Ottoman laws and established centralized administration in the empire. During this period, many regions of Europe became part of the Ottoman Empire. Thus, the Europeans realized the military strength of Asia through the Ottoman rulers. The Ottoman Empire disintegrated after the First World War. The Ottoman Empire. It was believed that the Ottoman Empire was founded towards the last part of the 13th century by one of the tribal leaders of Turkey, Usman. He was called Uthman, and it was from this that the name of Uthman was derived. The Mongol Empire. Mongolia is the region between Russia and China in Central Asia. It is a region characterized by vast meadows, deserts and mountains. The climate of Mongolia is extreme, severely hot in the summer and extremely cold in winter. The Mongols were nomads who lived in tents. There were different tribes among the Mongols who always roamed around on horses. It was Genghis Khan who unified them and founded the Mongolian Empire. The seat of Genghis Khan was at Karakoram on the banks of the river Onon in Siberia. The chief characteristic feature of the Mongol army was its strong cavalry. The main attraction of the army was the small cannons which could be used while sitting on horseback. Genghis Khan also maintained a well-organized espionage to connect the distant places of the empire with the administrative center. The Mongolians introduced postal system using horses. The communication system was known as the courier. The courier system of Genghis Khan was speedy and effective. Timur ruled Mongolia with Samarkand and as his capital. He was the successor of Genghis Khan, who founded the empire, as he was maimed in a war. He was also known as Tamerlane in 1398. He crossed the river Indus and reached Delhi. On his way back, he took with him a great treasure. What were the administrative reforms introduced by Genghis Khan that set an example to the modern world? The Mali Empire. The Mali Empire was one of the famous empires of medieval Africa. The center of administration was Mali in West Africa. Observe the images in Google. Locate the areas that came under the Mali Empire. Kangan Musa was a famous ruler of medieval Africa, who was known in European records as a Mansa Musa. Mali had huge treasures of gold and hence it was very healthy region at that time. Timbuktu in the empire of Mali was the most important cultural and commercial center of medieval Africa. Merchants from Venice, Granada and Genoa reached Timbuktu for marketing their merchandise such as gold and ivory. It was also a center of slave trade. The University of Timbuktu was one of the leading centers of knowledge of that period. The university attracted students from all parts of the world. The great mosque constructed by Kangan Musa at Timbuktu was the leading center of the Islamic studies during the medieval period. The journey to Mecca. The journey of Kangan Musa to Mecca in the year 1324 is world famous. He, along with his retinue, carried with them kilograms of gold. On the way, he gave alms to the poor and donated gold to the mosques and the pilgrims. The journey was also intended to invite teachers and religious scholars to the Mali Empire. Ibn Battuta considered Kangan Musa as the richest ruler of the medieval world. China and Japan. China and Japan were the countries in Asia where efficient administrative system excited during the medieval period. Search and watch YouTube and Google for your knowledge. In the initial stage of the medieval period, China was ruled by the Tang dynasty. The sovereignty of the country was vested in the emperor. State officials were selected after the conducting competitive examinations based on the criteria of education and excellence. The Tang rulers were tolerant towards all religions and were great promoters of trade and commerce. After the Tang dynasty, China was ruled by the Song, Ming and Manchu dynasties. In medieval Japan also, the emperor was the supreme head in political affairs, but the administration was overhauled by the feudal lords known as shoguns. Land was under their control. It was under the shoguns that Tokyo emerged as the center of power. Medieval Africa. From ancient time onwards, indigenous civilizations prevailed in both North and South America. These civilizations contributed and continued to exist in the medieval period also. The administrative systems in these regions were purely indigenous. American civilizations: Mississippi, Caribbean, Mongolian, Patayan, Mayan, Inca, Aztec, Toltec. In their quest for establishing colonies, the Europeans reached America in the 16th century. They destroyed the native cultures and started plantations and mines there. The Negroes of Africa were brought to America as slaves to work in these places. The natives were subjected to genocide. Pets can produce interactions that may not have happened if not for their presence. Pets can produce interactions that may not have happened if not their presence. I hope your Wednesday is sunny and bright. I hope your Wednesday is sunny and bright. Reduces stress and work related pressure. Reduces stress and work related pressure. Pets in the GMG Academy. And every languages we miss you. Believe time changes everything. Believe time changes everything. When you are winning, keep your mouth shut. That's law. When you are winning, keep your mouth shut. That's law. When you are winning, keep your mouth shut. That's law. Be always gives people more reason to smile. Be always gives people more reason to smile. To-do list make yourself a priority. To-do list make yourself a priority. Accept the situation and move on. Accept the situation and move on. Don't forget, smile, rejoice and dream. Don't forget, smile, rejoice and dream. We are all one. Only egos, beliefs and fears separate us. We are all one. Only egos, beliefs and fears separate us. Happy learning. All the best. happy learning.